this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, August 28th, 2023. Here with my weekly cross-stitching update. It's kind of crazy to think that we're almost done with August and heading into fall and the end of the year, really. So I don't have any acquisitions this week, but I have one that I almost pulled the trigger on last night. And I emailed the designer, but I want to check, maybe any of you know. There's a Jardin Privé pattern that Carolyn Zook showed on her last video, sampler of flowers, and I love it. So I was going to get the PDF from their website, and I'm curious if they work in Pattern Keeper, because they have a black and white symbols version and a color symbols version. If I'm going to use it in Pattern Keeper, I would probably get the black and white one. If I am going to print it out, I would actually prefer the color one. So I emailed the, use the contact form on the sheet to see, but if any of you know, because there's a lot of you out there, if Jardin Privé PDFs work in Pattern Keeper, that would be great information. And then I will show you next week my new purchase. So Carolyn, if you want to start that sometime, you would not need to twist my arm very long. I'm feeling like starting things again, a lot of the things I already have, and that one, but I am still feeling like finishing things. So it's, again, the, butting heads with the goals that I feel like doing. Right now I'm still finishing things and it's fun, but I do need some starts in my life every once in a while because that's just who I am. Let's get rolling, talk about stitching. I have my temperature clicker that I worked on yesterday, still here in August. And as you can see, this is an example, a mock-up from 2017 temperatures, and like how warm this month is, how warm this month is, how warm this month is so far. Although it does look like there are some greens in there too that year, but pretty dark colors in the center. Not so this year. Mine's a lot cooler. This is a 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, 1/1 full cross. And like, yeah, this is mostly blues and greens. This is getting warmer, but still, and then August. And both of these have a lot more green in them than that other year. These days right here, that's Tropical Storm Hillary. This one right here is like a blue-green, so that was the coldest one, the day of the actual storm, and then it warmed up a tiny bit, but not much the next day. So yeah, started in on the center. There is a possibility. So far this morning has been cool and in the 60s, so it's kind of, I don't know if it will, but it's predicted to get at 107 today, which would be my second hottest color. So we'll see. Maybe the stems of this little flower in the pot here will be my second hottest color, which will be a darker pink. So we'll see next week what that turns out to be. It's always fun to work on. I usually work on it in the car, going to church on Sunday and get caught up for the week. My travel stitching this week has been year-end stitches. I'm working on November, which is the very last block, so that's exciting. This is my Whip Go call for August. I have either an Advent animal or one of these last 3 blocks on this one, and this is the last one that was called. So here is all of this one so far, and up close with November. I have, this is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, mostly 2/2 full cross. There's usually one strand for specialty stitches, and there's a little bit of 1/1 in here too, which is why I did 28 count. There will be a 1/1 turkey right here, and then some white lace bits, kind of like this sort of stuff down here. So I'll do that once this scene is finished, which is almost there. I went ahead and made my house blue instead of gray. I felt like the gray might be too light, because the color suggestion in the pattern were 2 different, like a lighter green and a darker green. And I didn't want dark green here because a lot of the bushes are dark green, so it would have been matchy. You wouldn't see where one stopped and the other started. So I didn't want to do green, but I felt like my gray is this gray, and I felt like it would be a little bit too not right for this piece. So I went with blue. I like it. And their little birdhouse is a light blue, so it complements, right? So there's a little vine over here and a few more colors. I think there's a lot of orange, even a purple. There's a path. And then this little scene will be done, and then I can do the bottom two little sections. So that's fun. I'm pretty sure I can finish it this week before the month ends. So here's hoping. Oh yeah, I was gonna go look and see if I could find my little flip thing for my Advent animals. Because I might try, if I have a little extra time coming up when I might be able to work on it. And so I might start fully finishing these on little cards if I finish it before the end of August. So I was gonna pull my frame out and kind of show you everything and totally forgot. That's all right. So I actually have the Whip Go calls for September, which are 2 Advent animals, which is going to be the case for the rest of the year because all I have left on my Whip Go board now is Advent animals. So I have Dunkin' Dog. Day 4 is the first call. And then the other one is, oh, the horse. Hamilton horse, who won the ugliest sweater contest. So those are the 2 I'll be doing in September. I'll start with Dunkin' Dog, so I'll show you that here. He's right here on the top because he's the one that I haven't done yet, the smallest number that I haven't completed yet. So that's my start on him. Just a little bit of his vest, the pom-pom on his hat, and oh, that's the ribbon around the bone at the bottom. So that's my start on those guys, or on that one. Because I don't know, maybe I'll show you Hamilton horse too. I don't know that I need to, but which one is he? Oh yeah, he just has a little bit of his head. I won't be able to come back next week. Next Monday is Labor Day here in the States, so husband, kids, everybody's off. Those days are always hard to film, so I'm not going to. That day, and then the rest of the week is busy, so I'll probably skip a week. So I would have started September plans anyway, so I needed to show you Dunkin' Dog, but I have like 2 weeks before I'm going to see you again, so I'll just show you everything. At the end of the video, I'm going to go through all of my September projects because I'm doing AB Singo and I could stitch on any of them, any of those days. So I'll just show you all of them. So we'll have the 4 pictures for all of them. I also worked a little bit on Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, Castle Homecoming Club, and I finally finished part 1. Yay! There are 4 parts released at this point, and I have a little bit of part 2 and 3. No, just 2. Parts of just 2 started, but 1 is complete now, I'm pretty sure. It gets a little fuzzy since I have all the parts printed out all together, but I'm pretty sure part 1 is done. Here's my little one. I'm doing it on 28 count Ice Blue Even Weave by Zweigart. 1/1 full cross with my own color conversion. So the parts of part 2 that are finished are these flag pulls on the edges, the little wizard's face and hands, and the start of the bridge here underneath them that they're walking on. And part 1, I finished the back stitching, so like all their faces are finished. There's a starburst in her banner, and then the music notes, there's some back stitching in the trumpet and in her helmet too. So All of part 1 is done now, and working in on part 2. I'll probably bounce around from part to part at this point, which with whatever is nearby, whatever color I'm working on. I don't have them printed out by part. I just print out the most recent one that I can work off of to get like everything done that I haven't done yet. So, not that I'll be going very fast on progress on this one, but I have made some progress, so. Okay, I guess I can show you Butterfly Rose Cross. I worked on this a little bit during the week when I was chatting with Desiree, the Topsy Turvy crafter. It's by Bridget Ashwood, Heaven and Earth Designs. I am removing the background myself. This is the mini, and she's working on the, Desiree's working on this as well, and hers is the regular version with Heaven and Earth Designs removing the background. There's a version for all of the options, I think, of minis, regulars, with or without background. So I did almost 200 stitches, 195 stitches, but I was at a good stopping point, so I didn't bother doing another 5. So this is where I'm at now. You should be able to see some difference. This is 28 count, kind of a hand-dyed teal color from the Hand Dyeing Duo on Instagram. And I did some dark gray, or not gray, dark brown in the butterfly, in these twigs, and then some of it carried over to here. So you can see the start of the crossbeam, which is fun. So I am picking symbols top to bottom, left to right. So pretty soon, I think that might be taller than what I have over here, but pretty soon I'll be picking symbols out of the butterfly to, those will be the next highest colors. So to kind of fill it in as I go down. But once I have a thread on my needle, I do it everywhere I can that I'm willing to count to, which can be kind of far for me. I don't mind counting. On some things, I noticed on like Stargazer, that's on really dark fabric and I'm stitching over 2, I don't like to count very far on that one because I don't trust myself. But most things I don't mind counting a decent amount, like maybe 40 stitches away. I don't know. I don't have a hard and fast rule, but I think that's all the regular like travel-y stuff and bonus stuff. So Monday, I pulled out my letter E fairy and managed to get some work done on this, which was nice. So this is for my niece, and I hope to have this one and another one done, an S as well, done before next graduation season. So this one could be nice to finish this calendar year, and then I'll work on the other one next calendar year. I have 2 nieces graduating this school year. So here is where I got to. This is 28 count, just kidding, 32 count Water Lily Linen by Witchell, 2/2 full cross. And I did some more in the E in order to backstitch the wings. So I got the beads and the backstitching done on her wings, and I used 2 strands of that rainbow glisten gloss stuff, this purple sparkly, to kind of help tie in her wings with the purple in her dress and everything. So I thought that turned out pretty nice. And then I did more wood on the E out here as well. So pretty happy with how that turned out. I don't remember if I'd already backstitched the E, but I have done that too. I don't know if I did that this week as well. Yes, I did. So all of this backstitching, there's little backstitching around the outside of the E. I did that also this week. So the top, like from here up, is completely finished. So I think it's looking pretty nice. And I'm excited to see, the bottom half is less intense than the top half because I've already got the fairy done. So hopefully I can get this done before the end of the year. that would be nice. And yeah, I'm doing a conversion. Doesn't look like the cover. And I'm hoping, I have a color conversion blog that I started a while back, and for some reason I can't access it anymore. The editing features, what's already on there is still live and available, but I can't add anything new. So at some point I need to go in and make a new one and transfer over my old content and put in some new content so I can put stuff like this in there for you and for everybody to see. So I just haven't had time. So eventually I would love to be able to have a nice, easy place to share all my conversions, because I am doing that a little bit more often these days. My main project all week was Dragon Ride by Teresa Winsler. This is one for my son, and I wanted to kind of give it a nice push to get it finished possibly this year. I don't know. With the amount that's left, I don't think it's possible to finish this year, but it is, unless I do some more like super focused time on it. But I made some good progress this week, and it's feeling good. Like, I had a lot of days this week that were kind of weak in stitching time, but finally Saturday I got a lot of time on it, and it's feeling nice how far I've gotten. Some of the areas, the blue and yellow areas that I had partially finished are completely finished now, and that feels really good. So, but as I work on it, you know, you see all the things that are yet to be stitched. I'm like, ooh, that's gonna take a while. That's gonna take a while too. So I'm trying to be realistic to not expect it to be done sooner than it's possible. But I'll do a back here, because I know Laura, can you see what I did? And this is 28 count light blue even weave by MCG Textiles. Mostly 2/2. The man is charted 1/1. So I did finish a length of thread in the border, so I have a little bit of border stitched over there. And I went, there will be the same color on either side of this, but because there's stitching through here, but not between, you know, these bars up and down, I am stitching, like I dragged my thread diagonally because it will be stitched over later. Like this one. You'll have other things stitching over it this way, but along the inside, the horizontal, there's nothing there. So I didn't want to drag it straight down and have that there, if that makes any sense. So that's why it looks the way it does. When I do another thread at some point, I will come down this side and diagonally finish this side and then kind of alternates. So that's how I'm planning to do that. But with most of what I worked on was in the dragon. So I got a lot of this wing filled in. There's still more down here. I started in on this dark color, which is really obvious to see. And this whole section is completely finished now, except for back stitching, which I would love to do, but there's enough up here that's not done, and then there's like enough down here that's not done, so I can't backstitch quite yet. A lot of the tail is now filled in here, but there's still some darker shades in the middle that I need to do. This darker shade was also in this part of the tail. I did a little bit here in the leg and this part of the saddle and behind his leg, and some even in him. There's some like darker bits around his foot that are what they do. She has charted the man in 1/1, but there's also little bits all around him that match the dragon colors that are also 1/1, wherever he doesn't line up with a full 2/2X, if that makes any sense. So there's some tiny little stitches around him that match the dragon colors. So I've done some of those, and then this color is on my needle right now, this dark blue. There's more of that in his cape, but that was a color that was part of the blend of this dark blend. So I will finish that in there, and that's what this darker tan was too. I was doing some dark tan over here and thought, oh, that's also in the man, so I'll do that there too. So I did that if I have the blend out and some of the colors in the blend are also in the man, I will go ahead and stitch a little bit of the 1/1 while I'm at it. So I think it turned out really nice. I had kind of hoped to get to a point where I could backstitch something, but not quite. Because there's a lot of backstitching. And with this one, I actually really like backstitching it because there's a lot of fractionals, and when you backstitch it, it just kind of brings it all to life, makes it pop. The backstitching instructions can be a little tricky. You gotta make sure you read it really well because there's a lot of different colors of backstitching. But in general, once you get started, you know which color you're supposed to be using. It's pretty fun. So I will be working on that again this week. So I'll do another day of my letter fairy today, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So 3 more days on Dragon Ride before the end of the month. So that's what you have to look forward to for that. So now I will jump into September. Like I mentioned last time, I'm feeling like hopping around now. So my September plans, I'm gonna be doing Bringo is the magazine monthly challenge group bingo game for January. In September, they do AB Singo. So we do a letter for every block of the bingo board, except for this year they chose to leave out the letter T. Every year they omit a different letter to make sure we only have 25. And then I picked from the pieces I was already planning to work on in September, plotted them into my board. So I forgot to include Bear Time Stories, which is one of my son's family pieces, or one of my family pieces for my son. So that one will get work after the Bringo game, the AB Singo game is over, unless I finish Purple Pansy early, then I might pop in any number of the things I was planning to work on in those few days after AB Singo is over, because this goes through the 25th. So I will be working on some of these before I see you again. So I will show all of them because I don't know what will be called. Carolyn Zook will be calling the numbers, and she'll be posting them in the Facebook group like the night before, I'm pretty sure. So I will go through this to make sure I don't forget any of them. So first off, I have my Focus for a Finish piece for September, which is Purple Pansy by Carolyn Manning. And this is a thread sketch collection. So it is all backstitching. There is no cross stitches in this at all. I would personally not consider this black work because it is not a pattern created with like to fill a space. For me, that's what black work is, where you have a space outlined and then you fill in it in with a pattern with backstitching. But this is just the outline of the shapes are backstitched with no pattern fill in, no cross stitch fill in. So this is my starting point. This is light blue Ada, 18 count, the same stuff I'm doing my Advent animals on. This is just a scrap again, so that I don't have a lot of margin. So hopefully it's not gonna be too close to the edge. But I am using a sulky pack. I thought that'd be fun to try. So I have this sulky pack. So mine is not gonna actually have any purple in it, even though it's called Purple Pansy. So all the colors of the flowers will be these shades. And this was like a primary color variegated, which didn't work for me for the green. So I am using Mistletoe by Color and Cotton for my green, 1 strand of that. So that will be slightly thinner than the sulky because sulkies are a little thicker than 1 strand of cotton floss. But I think it's fine because there's a little bit more detail needed in the green. So I think it works out great. So I have the center motif done, but there's a lot left to go around the outside. So there's all these flowery bits all around the outside. Hopefully 4 days is enough. But I would love to finish this month. If this gets pulled 4 times and I'm still not done, I will pull, I will sub it out for some other things on here that are just personal fun things, because I do want to get this done in September. So I also have a new seasonal piece. Did I? Oh yeah, I wasn't doing seasonal things in August. I'm like, did I forget to do seasonal Sunday this week? I decided not to do seasonal Sundays in August. I'm going back to seasonal Sundays in September, although they won't be on Sunday, probably because they'll be dictated by the WIPGO board, the bingo board. But for September, I'm choosing a different seasonal piece than my montage from last month. I'm going back to the Colors of the Seasons 2 by these guys, Serenita di Campagna. This is Italian, I believe. And when I first started this, I fell in love with the autumn one and kind of went gung-ho, finished it really fast. And then when I was working on the winter one, I lost steam. At one point, I realized the counting was off on the bottom and the spacing is now completely weird for all of it. I was gonna have them all together, and I don't even like the placement that I have, because for some reason I put them in a different order than I usually do for seasonal things when it's gonna be like in a 2x2 situation. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing, see if I can, maybe, I might be able to, hopefully I can cut them apart and have like either makes 4 smaller finishes or like a quilted front with all 4 separate. So, because I do love them, I'm just, the way the words and the hearts at the bottom, I'm over those. I'm not doing those parts anymore. So here's my starting point. Winter and autumn are done. I placed winter in the wrong spot, and this heart, I don't remember if the heart was right and the picture is wrong or what, but I'm hoping I have enough room in here that I can cut it and do a different kind of finish with it and have them be separate. So we'll see. But those are finished. I actually have a start up here on, I don't know which one this is. Is this spring or summer? I think this is summer. This is this one, I think, because it's like this spray of flowers here and then some of the sand at her feet. So that's my start on summer. So I'll be working on that one. And then at some point I will put spring over here. So I'm pretty sure this is one side and it's going to go over to this side. So it looks a little weird the way I have it, but I think it's exactly above autumn. So yeah, this is 27 count Linda in Vintage Country Mocha, which is printed on the front and solid on the back. So I really enjoy working on this. It's 2/2 full cross. And so a little bigger X's than I'm used to for a lot of stuff. I could have done this 1/1 potentially, but there is some back stitching. So I felt like the ratio of, you know, the back stitching and the cross stitches needed to be 2/2. So that's what I'm doing. So hopefully I'll work on this for 4 days in the month of September and see some progress on that summer section. I would love to finish this next year. So I think this will definitely be a focus on a finish for next year. I don't think I have enough time this year to do that, but and then I didn't bring up my family pieces. You've seen those a lot. I have Visit Endor, Simpsons, and Bear Time Stories. All those will each get at least 1 day. So far there's, since I made my board, I'm planning to do 1,000 stitches each on Visit Endor and Bear Time Stories every month to try to get those done before their high school graduations. So I'll probably need to work on them a little bit more at the end of the month, in addition to the day they get on the bingo board. But those are in there. And then I have letter E in there 3 times. I also chose, back when at the beginning of the year, I was planning out full coverage, no background, focus on a finish, and fancy lady bonus piece. So I have all those 4 already plotted out for September. Most of them are birthday start affiliated. So I have my, well, I guess I'll just show you this one. I am going to have a full, a new start because I need one right now. I feel like starting things. And so I'm going to stick with this one. And this is by Artisy. It's Delightful Waltz. It's a Leonid Afremov piece. And I thought this was really pretty. I've seen a lot of his pieces and they all are very colorful, and so that appeals to me, but I've never loved any of them, I guess, enough to stitch them. And you see a lot of people doing a lot of the other ones. When I saw this, I just fell in love with it because I love the movement in her dress, and there's a lot of pink in it. So up here is probably not a lot of pink, but I am gonna work on this one. So I'm gonna start this for my birthday, and this will be on a piece of 40 count Silver Moon linen, 1/1 half cross, because I'm crazy. Might as well do it while I still can, right? So that one will be a new start, and then I have a couple other ones that are former new starts. This is another one that's in this folder. It's my full coverage, no background. That was a former birthday start. Tea and Books by Bridget Ashwood. This is the same designer, or the same artist that did the butterfly rose cross. So you'll see some similarities in her butterfly charting. But this is Tea and Books, and I am doing this, removing the background myself also. Her designs lend themselves to that not being super difficult. The hardest part probably was this wispy steam, and I've already done that. So I basically just took the white and only stitched the white, and just any other little like accent colors of steam I just ignored because they blended in too much with my fabric anyways. I figured it doesn't matter. So I haven't worked on this in a while. This is also 40 count. This is Verdal. It's a silk weaver, I think. I can't remember, Days Gone By, perhaps, that I was gifted by Amy Gable Stitcher. And it's a little, yeah, it's more orangey than it's showing, but I thought this was kind of wild and crazy, so it would make a good background. And since I'm removing the background, I thought I would try this. So I have the steam finished. You can see there, this is 1/1 half cross as well. And the top rim of the cup is started. And over here, something else is started. What is that? Oh, the handle, I think. So I think that's this handle and a little bit of the butterfly there. So that's my start on that one. It's kind of hard to see so far, so hopefully once things get more in there, you'll see more. So I'm guessing I'll work on more of the top of the cup and more of the butterfly, just to kind of see a little bit more structure of what's happening here. So that's that one. That has 4 days on my bingo board. And then my last one is another former birthday start, Garden Prelude by Mirabilia. I do have this on my board 4 times as well, but originally my focus on a finish piece could have all 8 days if needed, and then this is only if I finish it before the 8 days is over. So it's hard to do that with a bingo situation. So potentially, if it all depends on kind of when things are called, but if I finish Purple Pansy, if I don't finish Purple Pansy in the 4 days, this could get a day or 2 knocked off of it. But for now, it has 4 days on the board too. So this one might be on the chopping block for part of the time, although I do love it, so I might chop something else if I am less interested in that one at the time. But this is where I'm at with this. This is 32 count Wedgwood Lugana by Color and Cotton. It's pretty accurate. It's a nice gray blue color. I have all the arches. I don't know if they're finished. I think they might be, those top bits. And then there's some backstitching like along to connect it, but I haven't done that yet. I can't remember what else I'm waiting on, but I think for the most part, I think those, yeah, I think that's what I was waiting on. So these arches are done, but the backstitching goes down past the flowers to kind of do these ghosty columns. And so I was waiting to backstitch even these side bits until I had flowers in so that I could just run my thread all the way down. I'm going for efficiency here. So because of that, I don't know that I'm going to do flowers this time. I think I'm going to focus on her. So I don't have that much of her done. Her violin is done. Her arms are done. I have more hair and ribbons and dress. I can start working on dress. So I do want to finish, get going on her. So I'll do a kind of a before of just her. And she's got more hair and like ribbons and stuff. So I'll probably work on that for sure. I think I would like to get more dress in as well because that color is just stunning. So that's my start on Garden Prelude. So those are some things. I think that's everything I have on my board for September that could possibly come up before I see you again. That's a long one because it's horizontal, so I roll it on the horizontal side and it's very long. It's the longest one I have here. Yeah, so I'm excited about all of that and I hope you have a wonderful end of your August, whatever you're working on. Enjoy September, whatever that means for you, if that's spring or fall, both are lovely seasons. So enjoy that, and I guess that's everything. So I will be back in 2 weeks, and I hope you have a wonderful time in the meantime working on all of your projects. Happy stitching. Bye.